If you have scoliosis and you feel that your voice is not as strong and flexible as it could be, this video is for you. Let me show you how to work around your scoliosis so your voice doesn't get affected by it. My name is Jorgelina, I am a vocal coach and I teach people how to sing contemporary music from a holistic and integral approach. Firstly, let's talk about what scoliosis is. So, scoliosis has to be with one of the curves from your spine. So you have your spine, and when the curve that goes to the sides is a little bit too big, that is usually considered scoliosis. There are different degrees of scoliosis. Usually you will notice that you have a scoliosis when your hips are not even and when your shoulders are not even. And this can be sometimes very evident and sometimes quite subtle. If you have a scoliosis and you feel that affects your voice, let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Let's talk about how scoliosis affects your voice. Well, of course, everything that changes in your body is going to affect your voice at a certain degree, sometimes in a small way, sometimes in a big way. Just have in mind that every time that something is not quite balanced in your body, the other parts of your body are going to have to compensate for that. There are a few ways that this will affect your voice. I'm going to tell you two of them because they affect me. I have scoliosis and it affects my voice in two main ways. First one is one side of my body is shorter, this side of my body is shorter, and that affects my capacity of breathing in that side. So my rib cage in this side is not as flexible as the other side. So the capacity of inhaling and breath support gets affected by it. The second way that scoliosis affects my voice is my back has to compensate for the scoliosis. So if it gets bad, my back gets quite tense, my neck also gets quite tense, and of course there are nerves that connect the brain with the diaphragm and the voice, and those get affected when you have a very tense muscles. It also affects your capacity of using internal muscles to sing because there is a big compensation from these muscles. If you like content like this, please subscribe because I have a lot of material about how to connect body, brain, and voice. Now, as I said before, I wanted to also talk about how to work around your scoliosis to make your singing better. Now, as I say, I do have scoliosis, so for me particularly, all my vocal training every day includes some stretching of this side, which tends to be shorter, and that usually results in a much faster progress in my voice for whatever I want to sing. But it's also good for life to work around those habits. Usually scoliosis, I was born with this scoliosis, and of course it gets worse with the habits you develop around it. I didn't have surgery to correct my scoliosis because it's not that bad, and since I was a child I've been always doing ballet and other kinds of dancing because I like it, but also because it did help my scoliosis. Ballet has a lot of side stretch, things like that, and by doing a lot of that you start getting that balance. I think the worst thing you can do for scoliosis is to not move. And nowadays I also practice Feldenkrais, I keep on practicing dancing. So of course, on top of just having your scoliosis under control as much as possible, there are some voice exercises that you can work with that will make your singing better if you have scoliosis. This one is one that really helped me, and I'm going to show it to you today. This is the exercise. Now, of course, I'm not a physio or a doctor or anything like that, and I'm just a singer and I have scoliosis, so I know a little bit, but I can help a little bit. So there are different kinds of scoliosis, but basically in my case, for example, one side of my body is shorter than the other, and I can see it, and I'm sure if you can see my shoulders, but this shoulder is a little bit lower than the other, and this hip is a little bit higher. So my shoulders are like this and my hips are like this. So in my case, I have to work on stretching this side. Now the exercise I'm going to show you today is actually for stretching both sides and kind of open the breathing in both sides. So this exercise is actually going to be good for you whether you have scoliosis or not. And it goes like this. We are going to keep your feet in a parallel position, so not together, a little bit more apart, about hips apart. If you know you have scoliosis and you know what side of your body is shorter, what we're going to do is we're going to work on that side. So for example, in my case, this is my shorter side. And what we're going to do is I'm going to first stretch my arm like this. Then I am going to move in two different directions. So with the hand, I'm going to go up like this. And with the hip, I'm going to go down. So I'm going to be keeping the soles of my feet on the ground, but I am going to be bending my right knee. Actually, I'm gonna lower the camera a bit. You can see me a bit better. Now you can see me a bit better. So what we're gonna do is arm up, head down, and we breathe at the same time. So I'm stretching all that side. And so hip moves this way, shoulder move this way. And then I come back, well, exhaling in this case, but if you are practicing with a singing exercise, you are going to be coming back singing. Let's say that I am doing a 5-tone scale. Or you can also breathe in, come back and sing here if that is too hard to coordinate for any reason. Make sure when you're doing this exercise that first you are not bringing your shoulder up. So the space between your ear and your shoulder is still there. We're going to try to keep the space here. So we breathe in, and the shoulder blade sort of separates a bit from the spine. There is stretching, and my throat is still free, and the head is not moving back. So common mistake for this exercise is that we do these kind of things, and the hips sort of move this way. No, we want it to be in the same plane, but just moving this way, like this. In that way, you have a nice stretch. If you breathe at the same time, you're going to be doing wonders for your voice. Now, how to practice this exercise? Now that you got the movement, what I would like you to do is to go to the description below and download my 3 super gentle exercises. These exercises are great to experiment these new things because they are slow and they have small steps. So you actually have the time to breathe in between them in the way that I show you, and that is going to start making some positive changes in your voice. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and try it and let me know in the comments how it went. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you next video.